What's going on, everybody? Ducks and Download back with an impromptu video because we just got the Hasbro Pulse fan stream where they've announced a lot of amazing things. So you can see I have it kind of pulled up here. We're going to run through a little bit of stuff, quickly talk about some things. Most of us be highlighting the figures that are coming out and the pipeline and just giving you all a general reaction to how excited I am for certain figures. So let's get into this. Of course, we're going to be starting off 40 years for Return of the Jedi, and I believe this is when they're going to start talking about this amazing Revenge of the Sith character box. So this, of course, is going to have the poster from the original conception of the Return of the Jedi, which was Revenge of the Jedi, until, of course, George Lucas changed that because Jedi don't seek revenge. This poster is one of my holy grail posters. I want one of these posters so badly. I need to get one. I love the Revenge of the Jedi. Put it right next to Revenge of the Sith. With this, of course, the Darth Vader inside is going to actually replicate and kind of give that vibe from the poster. So there he is, in box, looks phenomenal. I love what they've done to his person and his saber, giving them this very discolored vibe. Kind of reminds me of that art version they're doing with a lot of the Mandalorian series, which kind of flopped. But it's great for repaints. I picked up an IG-11 for super cheap that I'm just going to repaint into an IG-88. Because I'm not paying $50 for a silver version of the same figure I have. But this looks really good. Will I skip out on this one? More than likely. It is a Star Wars Celebration exclusive, which means it will probably end up on Hasbro Pulse eventually, but the box is gorgeous. The figure inside is gorgeous, but I don't need a discolored Vader. I love the ambiance that this plasticless package gives off, and the fact that that front poster slides out and has a kickstand, that's brilliant. There he is in hand. You can kind of see, kind of has like a rusty vibe, but I feel like they're probably just using a yellowish light, which will turn that red into more of a brown color. But as you can see, it's on the saber hilt. It's on all of him. It's even in his soft goods. His cape now has this gorgeous crimson vibe to it. Of course, maybe probably use these soft goods to make like an Emperor Vader or some other really awesome dark side Sith. So here we are. This is kind of showing how it slides out, which I think is a really cool function for plasticless packaging. Here we get to see the back of the box, which looks phenomenal. I love the art on these boxes. Even if I don't buy them myself, I gotta give it to the team. Great box art. Next on the list is a personal favorite of mine. We're getting some Indoor Troopers. Now, of course, sadly, this is not Captain Rex, but he was on Indoor. So for people like me, and I'm sure plenty of other of those out there, are going to get this figure specifically to have a what if Captain Rex on their mantle. This is Nick Sant, who is seen in some deleted scenes for here and there. He is also a person who has helped capturing speeder bikes and wearing Imperial armor. Sadly, it was not Rex, but he was on the planet at that time, and it would not be very hard to kit bash a few things together to make a old Rex. There are plenty of people out there with tutorials on really awesome old Rexes. But this is just going to give you a nice head sculpt that you could just use right out of box. Now, of course, like most of the troopers, he will have two heads, which allows for a little bit of customability. Not as much as the Hoth trooper, but two is better than nothing. So I think this Indoor Trooper is going to be a really good seller, especially for a lot of those Return of the Jedi fans like myself. I'm really liking the paint on this one. I think the pants look remarkable Star Wars camo without bleeding too much into our world. And I've always loved small accessories on like the belts and shirts. So this is no surprise that this figure is pulling through on all of that. Being a Indoor Trooper, or I should say an Indoor Soldier, they're going to have to do as much as they can to really push these figures. Because the Hoth Soldier was pretty easy to find when I first started collecting, even though it had been released beforehand. So this one is going to be a mainline item, which is amazing, which means it'll end up on pretty much every single store from Big Bad Toys to Amazon, maybe. Who knows? Europe is specifically going for the toy specialist, though. It's pretty common over there with shipping and stuff. He's going to come on a 40th anniversary card back, which I think looks stellar. Let me get myself out of the way here, guys. Yeah, let's look at that card back real quick. That card back looks phenomenal. I'm really enjoying the picture behind it. It gives that old school Kenner vibe, which is why these card backs are my absolute favorite, and I'm happy they're not giving up on the plastic for them. Of course, looks like we're going to be dropping into some of the vintage collection stuff, in which we are getting another Vader. But this is Return of the Jedi Vader. What's going to make this one more special is, of course, going to be the removable body parts. I know it sounds a little grotesque, but losing his hand in the fight with Luke, and then later, of course, his helmet is removed. So he's gonna have a removable helmet, not just of course from the ending scene, but this could also play into anyone who has like a really awesome diorama of his personal chambers chair. That way they can play the scene with the helmet getting lowered back onto the rest of the mask. So cool. And there's our look at completely helmetless, handless, redeemed Anakin Skywalker. No longer Darth Vader. The Darth title has been dropped. He is Anakin Skywalker again. I'm really enjoying the paint app on this. TVC blows me away with how they can do paint apps and make them just undetailed enough to where you don't worry about the small, minute things, but detailed enough to where you look at it, you immediately know who it is. So you know, as much as I'm not a inbox collector, if this guy comes without the helmet and everything on inbox, I might keep him in there because I like to keep my TVC inbox, my 3.75s. I just think that card back looks so good. So let's I wonder if they're gonna show us. I would love to see that card back. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, guys, with this card back and the way that this figure looks, I am 100% okay to keep him in packaging. I was really worried they were gonna throw all the helmet and everything on and you'd have to take off the accessories, but this is perfect. This Darth Vader from Death Star 2 with that amazing card back. Oh, chef's kiss. This is a must-have for TVC collectors, in my opinion. Of course, we know we're getting Admiral Piet. That's amazing to see him in the vintage collection. He was kind of dropped loosely by image shown on the back of a few other cards that had recently come out. They don't really seem to have another shot, so here's kind of what they have of the card back. The card back looks really good. I'm really enjoying that card back. Probably won't pick up Admiral Piet myself. I have him in 6-inch. 6-inch is, of course, my main line I like to collect, and then 3.75, especially because I keep them in case, are more for characters I really love. Of course, they're going to give us another Return of the Jedi Han Solo to go with that awesome bunker. The card back on this one, gorgeous. The card backs have really been stellar these last few times. The figure looks, I mean, I feel like they could have done Harrison Ford a little bit more justice in the face, but this is also 3.75. Again, vague enough to where you're not going to worry about super details, but detailed enough to where you know who it is. So it looks like these are going to be all mainline releases, even with the Weequay, Han Solo, Admiral Piet, and Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader Death Star 2. Available summer 2023. I am so ecstatic to pick up that Vader. All these Vader drops have been absolutely crazy, and I've been loving them. Again, I'm probably not going to pick up the red variant Revenge of the Jedi one, but I still love the concept of it. I really enjoy that. Let's get into some meat and potatoes here. Clone Wars 20th anniversary. That's right, they missed the Attack of the Clones to pretty much push into Clone Wars. I feel like that's because the Clone Wars series in later years has become far more popular than the movie was. And who else is first in this reveal for 6-inch Black Series figures other than Jesse? The boys are back together in the 501st, and Jesse's a great addition. I can't wait to do amazing pose-offs with Jesse and Rex and Ahsoka and just recreate that scene in my head. Maybe do a diorama. That would be brilliant. Although I need an army build, and that's expensive. This Jesse's gonna come with the plastic comma. I know a lot of people complain that the soft good comma can kind of just like splay around and move. If you get him a little wet and then like heat him with a blow dryer or something like that, they can actually reform pretty easily. It's just fabric, guys. But the plastic ones, they are nice. They always have that nice clean look. The issue is like the legs don't usually spread out as easy, so I'll be really excited to see how they attach the comma to the hip joint, because that's really what's going to make for movability and, you know, the ability to do motion. Because most of the things we see are him running forward or standing there. We're not seeing a lot of like side wide shots, which if that plastic comma is really thick, he's not going to be able to open his legs enough. But the details look fantastic. The helmet looks gorgeous. And I know it comes with a removable helmet. I don't know why they decided, let's not show that off at all. I'll try and get a picture for you guys. But yeah, Jesse without the helmet, he does have that tattoo. It looks great. Now, what's not good about this? It's a Walmart exclusive. And if all of us know, Walmart is the worst at getting exclusives out on shelves or any product control. The Walmart gets stolen from constantly, and scalpers half the time, I feel like, don't even pay for the stuff. They just go in, take it, and leave. So this being a Walmart exclusive is going to really bite a lot of people in the ass, and the fact that it is a Walmart exclusive means it's going to retain that value for an extremely long time, if not just like Rex and the others, just skyrocket and be almost impossible to find after initial release for at least a month or so. Hopefully that's not the case, and we can get this easily, and Walmart might get a little bit of their shit together. I can say here personally, I've actually, at my local Walmarts, found a lot more stuff recently, but you just got to be there right when they drop it, or else all the good things are gone. I was trying to pick up a Phase 2 Purge Trooper They were all gone. Really, what I feel like Walmart does best is if they drop it in like a middle aisle toy crate display. Those are always way more packed in the aisles. The aisles only ever get like maybe 8 figures, and then they keep rest in the back, maybe. And of course, as everyone's favorite Jedi, why would they not release him? Mundi will be joining everyone as this, as people say checks the lists for aliens and Jedi. Mundi is sadly just not a very well loved character. I know I'll be picking him up because I have no big issues with Mundi, other than the fact that he just looks weird and has a lot of wives, but apparently doesn't love any of them aside from recreation purposes. All of that aside, though, figure looks good. I think it's going to be a fine figure to add up on the Jedi shelf and just try and get more of the Grand High Council together. Eventually, one of these days, we'll get them all, and we can do an awesome diorama set. So, Mundi is a shared fan exclusive. What does that mean? Big Bad Toy Store. It's going to be a seclusive set of a few stores. Again, maybe Amazon, if they can bribe them enough, who knows? But this is more than likely going to be coming out through just fan store third-party providers, which is not bad. Big Bad Toy Store and all those guys are really good at doing pre-orders and keeping up on stock. So, just make sure you get your pre-orders in, and I highly doubt you'll have any issue getting this figure if you really want it. Now, of course, coming back to the vintage collection, we got to look at our boy Hauser. Looks like he's going to have a pretty okay card back, nothing too crazy. Another Bad Batch one, though. In here, he looks pretty normal. You got your accessories, figure, helmet removed. I am always so much happier when they allow for removable helmets and they don't put it on the figure in the plastic. Because again, I think most people who collect 3.75, or I should say a high percentage, leave them all in bubbles still. But they do make amazing diorama shots. And he's going to be a mainline item, so we can start hopefully seeing him just pop up all over the place. Summer 2020. The summer of 2023, guys, is going to be a really good time for a lot of us collectors. Let's just hope there are no more issues with shortage or shipping. And then this could be a real summer renaissance for Star Wars and Hasbro. And then that could just push them into the next field of amazing figures. We're also getting a Phase 2 Clone Trooper, new card back, new mold, I believe, but same classic long rifle, short rifle, and then helmet for accessories. Looks really good, but is this just your average shiny clone? I know a lot of people are going to love it. They're definitely going to pick them up. I might try to grab one myself, if nothing else, than to try and have that kind of a figure ready, because D. Bradley Baker is coming to my local Comic-Con, and I got to have something for him to sign. And with this being an Andor release, that is so cool to get to see the Andor Clone Troopers, because this is the very end of the Clone Troopers in Andor's period. This is them being really kind of pushed out of the Empire. Another mainline item, which means I think it'll be really easy for us to pick these up, but don't wait too long, guys. You have to remember that these Clone Troopers are some of the most sought after figures, especially for army builders, so they're gonna buy a lot of them. So make sure you get your pre-orders in, or if you see one and you want it, just get it. Looks like a Shop Disney exclusive will be the 212th 3.75 Vintage Collection Clone Troopers. So yeah, we have Lieutenant Waxer, of course, in the center there on the right side, and then the other two are just going to be regs. But getting Waxer is awesome. He even has a really good little sigil there for the Twi'lek girl that he met on Ryloth. That is, oh, my heart breaks just thinking about that. But this is a fun one. Probably not going to pick it up myself. Being on Shop Disney, that was actually, it's a good site. They hold things there a lot more, and people kind of seem to forget about it in a lot of cases. But if you're a big clone person, this is going to be awesome. To me personally, though, without the bubble and stuff like that, I'm just not as into it. All right, guys, and there we are. So all of us, like myself, personally waiting to get another Star Killer because we didn't want to pay those crazy scalper prices. Here he is. We're finally getting another release of Star Killer. That's made me so ecstatic. I love the expanded universe figures. I grew up definitely playing all of those video games so much. I am so excited to get to see this. Face sculpt looks very on point to the last one. I mean, it doesn't exactly inspire Sam Witwer, but it's a good chin. It's a good chin. All right, and of course the accessories come off of him. The packaging looks gorgeous. The expanded universe card is brilliant. Chef's kiss again. Expanded universe is my thing, guys. I love it. Mainline item, that means I'm definitely gonna have to pick this guy up. Looks like we're announcing a retro style Mandalorian prototype edition, which that's cool if you're into that kind of thing. Not my bread and butter, but I will admit that is a very cool looking card back. Looks like finally, for a lot of you helmet collectors, we're going to be getting another Scout Trooper helmet, which is going to be a big thing. I know so many of you have been pushing and wanting Scout Trooper helmets after we've gotten so many Storm and Clone Troopers. We're finally getting that, and who knows? If they did it right, I'm sure those little central nodules there in the mouthpiece will probably be a voice changer, because that's exactly what they do for almost every other bucket. Comes in a gorgeous Return of the Jedi box, and I think this is definitely going to sell really well for Hasbro. As this is a mainline item, you can find them all over the place. A big place to find these, I always say GameStop, guys. GameStop will almost always have an extra helmet somewhere, especially a few months after when they finally get their shipment of them. So now let's do some pipeline reveals. In the retro collection, we're going to be getting a Nomad Boba Fett, Tusken Raider, Fennec Shan, and a Chrysanthemum. Now from the retro line, the Chrysanthemum sounds kind of cool. I love Chrysanthemum as a figure and Tusken Raiders. So I'll probably pick up those two. I love Boba Fett, but I've got enough Boba Fetts, and I don't really think I need a Fennec Shan. If they drop that deluxe Chrysanthemum before the retro version, I probably won't pick it up, but as the retro version's so cheap, it'll finally cure that itch while I'll have a Chrysanthemum figure, because I am not buying that first one. So we're also getting a Cad Bane, refreshed Jedi Luke Skywalker. Now, Cad Bane will be his own. The Mandalorian will probably be his own retro figure. Might pick up Din Djarin in retro just because that'll be fun. But the Jedi Luke Skywalker and Grogu, so expect the two of those to either be extremely hard to find or everywhere. So here's a big one for the vintage collection. Now, I will definitely have to grab the Luke Skywalker Book of Boba Fett training one. I would love to have a 3.75 Luke Skywalker that's a Jedi to go right next to Sith Expanded Universe Luke from Dark Empire, and then we're getting Obi-Wan and Battle Damaged Vader 2-pack. Okay, I may have to, once I get to see a little bit more on that one, and we get to see what the figures look like and how they come in box, that one could speak a lot to me. Because again, if I don't have a bubble to look through the figure at, I'm probably not going to pick it up myself because I just don't like opening my 3.75s. When it comes to vehicles, looks like the vintage collection is going to be getting Speeder from the Mandalorian and the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter. I would honestly expect the Starfighter to almost be HasLab, but it's going to be expensive, guys. These vintage collection vehicles are not cheap, but I need that N1 so bad. Now, what's the big thing we're here for? The Black Series pipeline reveal. We have Luke Skywalker and Grogu build-up pack. Fine, let's go. I don't know if I want another Luke Skywalker as I already have green lightsaber Luke, but if this one just looks really good, it'll be tempting not to. I skipped on the last one just because I didn't really have the money at the moment, but honestly, if I ever find that one from Mandalorian or this Book of Boba Fett Luke, I might end up getting them just for an updated face sculpt. Hold on, I gotta stop my heart. We are getting a deluxe series Darth Malgus Expanded Universe Black Series. Guys, I am so stoked to finally have Darth Malgus. He's gonna be up there hanging out and chilling with Vader, just being mechanized warlords. And the fact that this is a deluxe one, what does that mean? Is he going to come with blaster? I mean, he really only has his armor and lightsaber. Is he going to have a different head to swap out from initial SWTOR to the more Legacy of the Sith with more damage? Maybe an exchangeable arm as well. Whatever makes him deluxe, $35, I'll do it. I'll do it. You guys got me. You gave me Old Republic. I will give you my money. Just give me Darth Malgus. And lastly, the last big pipeline for Black Series is going to be the last helmet they're going to be revealing, which is the Ahsoka Loyalist helmet. Beautiful helmet. I know it's going to sell really well. Cool, whatever. Malgus. Guys, I am so excited. So down in the comments below, make sure to tell me what you're the most excited for. What figure you want to see maybe in the next pipeline, and why Darth Malgus is going to be the best figure of 2023. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, may the Force serve you well.